on their fellow European regionals, which has, I guess, just been too easy for them. Now you got to go up against those Eastern Europeans, which play more aggressive, faster style, and I think are going to match gaming in the lanes, which predominantly has been their go-to in these clutch situations. Like, they just outlane people, they get off to a faster start, and when you're in these high pressure scenarios, if you're the team that's out to a lead early, it makes the rest of your game and the rest of your series a lot more comfortable. I don't think that Lane Gaming are going to be able to fall back on first bet boom here.
It definitely means these early clashes are going to be a tight watch for us as both the bounty runes, maybe a first blood, upsets the laning phase, because this laning phase is going to be super important, right? You already alluded to it. We have gaming gladiators who have relied on being able to win their lanes and establish an early lead and then be able to roll off of that. Whereas Bet Boom, I mean, even more aggressive style off of winning the lanes and then just keep hammering you over and over until you submit by 20 minutes.
And I think for gaming, it's a lot about Ace and Quinn. Like, Quinn really likes to win these 1v1 mids so that the supports can rotate at the 6 and 8 minute power runes, gain more advantage. They're going to be looking to punish GPK, especially with the DK matchup here. This is not a hero you can take lightly in the lane stage if you're GPK and fall behind. Like, Quinn should get off to a fast start. He did take Breathe Fire level 1 over the stun, so there's not going to be the early denies. But I expect him to eventually pull ahead and create that situation where Tofu can rotate in. And if you're Ace with this Beastmaster, you're looking to do the same, create a scenario where the auras come online too fast for Bet Boom to deal with and just roll him over. And that is why this Terrorblade pick is very interesting, because we saw Nightfall talking about this hero. And personally, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like Terrorblade is the most volatile carry of the patch. This hero either just wins the game at 25 or you go late, and this hero, he has issues in the late game. There is no easy way to put it. He's an extremely timing-based hero. You need a second, third item power spike that just hits as hard as possible. So that's another reason Bet Boom do not want to give the DK and the Beast leeway in this game, because all of a sudden they're pushing you down. You don't get to your Terrorblade timings, and then what's your backup here? I guess it's, you know, 300 bonus damage, pure Legion. Better pray he wins the duels.
He's really going for it, man. Well, he's going to chase after Quinn like this? This is crazy. That Sleight of Fist is not going to do the damage. He's going to pop the Fairy Fire, but he has just fed first blood to Quinn.
And Quinn's like, Quinn expected that. He had no reaction. He's like, of course GBK just suicides for him. It's the pressure of the grand finals already eating up at the man.
I guess so.
I mean, that is a big kill to give away to Quinn when I think GPK was doing a pretty decent on the lane.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was clear that he was trying to set up a kill for Quinn. I just didn't imagine that was the time to pull the trigger.
That was definitely not. I mean, he pulled the trigger and it shot himself. Either way, Quinn's very happy about that, because now he is very far ahead in the XP, and this is definitely going to be a pressure point for gaming. That is a big slip up by GPK.
I mean, I can't even believe he's still challenging Quinn like this. I mean, haven't you already lost your timing? You got level 2 Dragon's Blood.
This is just another Sunday for GPK. Another game where his lane got greased. He's used to it every pub. Here it's on him, but it's not going to stop him from, I'm sure, holding his lane ultra possible.
His lane.
I mean, that's where you throw out, you know, my keyboard was lagging, boys. So
yeah.
I respect coming in aggressive, though. Like, you're in an Ember versus a DK. I'm not going to draw. I'm not going to try and keep up with it. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to kill him first before he kills me. I kind of respect that mentality.
Yeah. I can respect the mentality, maybe not the execution.
No, the execution was definitely a little lacking, and now Quinn is very far ahead. That is going to be something to look for Bet Boom, particularly for save. I mean, how much do you stay up here if you're Enchantress with a Legion that is having a very good time? And Bet Boom, man, their offlane has just been decimating people in the first 5 minutes, particularly save on the Enchantress, the Pugna, the very fast right clickers that he's been hyper aggressive with the early blood grenades. But does he want to stay up here when he knows that DK push is coming mid? And then you might have to just rotate and bail out GPK. The saves moves very important in the next 3 to 4 minutes here, especially counteracting what gaming want to get done around those power runs.
Also, something just to keep in mind, it's a Bloodseeker matchup, a matchup that you're actively fighting. We've seen he's now gone back up to full health, but who knows? GPK going in like that and dying?
Yeah,
maybe that changed the lane in some extent. Maybe they actually would have been able to kill this Bloodseeker in lane.
Pure should be flaming GPK for grief.
Absolutely, yes, 100%. GPK might have just thrown 2 lanes with 1 move.
We've all been there, I'm sure. Nice little deny from Quinn, and he is definitely pulling ahead a little bit. I mean, not as much in the CS as I thought, but like I said, that first blood definitely doing work.
Yeah.
Here's saves level 3, so this is the point where he's gonna have to choose how much does he linger up here with that level 2 enchant for the big creep. How much does he try and move and gank mid with it? Is the mid gank even possible at this point? That's why I love this DK matchup. Just not susceptible. And Tofu, he'll have a Fairy Fire, but it's not enough to save him from Nightfall. And the Courier.
You know what I'm going back to? Nightfall's probably like, you know, GPK, that would have been first blood.
Probably.
Now you've ruined 3 lanes, GPK. Come on.
All right, let's not hold them responsible for all 3 here.
Ooh, get a glimpse back too. So this is going to be a double. Very good pickup for Bet Boom, righting some wrongs that happened in the laning phase.
That's so much XP for Toronto Tokyo. And to me, Toronto Tokyo honestly might be the most improved player in the last like 2 months.
I saw somebody, you know, I got a chance to watch UCAS and watch it. There was somebody who was very mad at the insinuation that Toronto Tokyo wasn't the best 5 position in the world at the very start of playing 5.
Who was it? It was BSJ?
It was BSJ. He was extremely livid. He was like, how could this guy possibly insinuate Toronto Tokyo wasn't the absolute best 5?
Okay, first off, I didn't insinuate it. I said this guy was absolute trash 4 months ago. I'll say it again. His 5 was terrible. But that's what makes it so impressive, because now I've been watching these games, man. He's looking like a top 5 in the world easily. He has had a huge impact in these games. He's finding the farm. There's these little factors that weren't happening for him before, but we all have the expectations of this roster and the players, and that's why it's cool to see, because that is not an easy transition going from a 1-2 high versus 5.
Tri-lane the carry. That seems to be the game plan for both of these teams. See whether or not Nightfall can get out. He tries to go through the portal, but no, Tofu's there to provide the stun to stop him. So dyrachyo and Nightfall are both going to die, and we're both going to have pressure on this safe lane tower. We'll see how these teams respond as we have a support on both sides trying to go through the gate.
I mean, this symmetry is very interesting. Both these teams... Oh, that was a nice little glimpse.
Push him all the way back. Again. Yeah.
I mean, both these teams really like this move, where they bring both supports to safe lane, kick the carry out around that 6 to 7 minute. It kind of co-aligns with the Wisdom Runes if you can get something else on the map.
Yeah.
The issue for Bet Boom here is what is happening mid, which is symmetry right now is not in your favor because you don't have a mid lane that can actually stand there. And so Gaming are super happy with any of these types of trades.
Dude, this is crazy. What Quinn was doing there, we're gonna watch Pure probably get run down, no support around him, so he's gonna die, but
can't blame GPK for that one.
Quinn had an opportunity, right? He could have tanked the tower for his siege wagon, but instead he chased after GPK and went for the denies to try and keep him from getting level 6.
I mean, you can see his priority here. He just wants to ruin the Ember's game, and I don't blame him. The levels are really lacking here for Bet Boom. You killed their tempo creator mid on the Ember. I mean, who do they have to fall back on? One upside is that Bet Boom saved that tier 1 bottom off the beast push, and Nightfall got back in lane. Okay. So they at least won that tier 1 trade, which is a good sign for them. You're slowing down the DK and the Beastmaster momentum, especially in the objectives department. That'll buy some space and some time for GPK to maybe get a rune, maybe make some play elsewhere. But the net worth is already a little up to a K here for Gaming, and I go back to Save. Save's got to find some moves, continue to kick heroes out of areas, and that is exactly what he'll do. Send dyrachyo back to base. Very valuable TP.
8-minute power rune coming up. And interesting enough that it's Gaming Gladiators who are set up for it, but GPK doesn't even try and go for the contest.
Does the DK illusion bug still happen where you can ult after the illusion?
It doesn't.
So he opted not to ult before the illusions.
Shame. Maybe he thought the bug was still there.
I mean, I guess I really didn't teach this guy everything, you know?
Yeah, he stopped learning once you will.
I'll have to come back to some summer courses here, Quinn. Little value loss.
Summer courses.
A remedial Dota school. Everybody can use a little bit. You will get the tower no matter what, though, and Nightfall looking for the trade. This is aggressive Terrorblade gameplay, trying to abuse the early Enchanter strength, and I think Gaming just weren't ready for this push, honestly. Like, where the hell did this come from? Even the Cobalt joins. Lends a hand. They're going to almost get this tower, but they won't get it. Feels a little bad, because I don't know if they're going to be in a position where they can convert on that tier 1 later. That might have been your window to get it. GPK continues to suffer in this matchup. Where's the help? Where's the rune? Where's the recovery?
Where's the Midas?
That's true. Where's the Midas? You think he's going to go Midas?
No, but Quinn is. He's almost got his 100 gold away. So that may be another reason why he is so aggressively playing against GPK, because Quinn's also just playing for his own game. He's going to stick it out in this mid lane. He's not actually rotating to the side lanes to try and take those towers. He's just playing to get his fast hand of Midas, and he wants to scale.
I like it. I think when you have this advantageous matchup, you're so far ahead of the Ember, this Midas is just going to guarantee you hit every item ahead of him and continue to punish him in the fights. I think that's the position you want to be in, especially with Dragon Knight, who was picked kind of in the middle of the draft, and in theory, Bet Boom, like, they have some heroes that can punch through him later. You want to be as strong as possible. You want to be bringing up the scale. This is also just how gaming like to play. They want a really strong 1 and 2, so the auras on Ace, when they come in as hard as possible. Every AoE item you buy is only as good as the net worth that's buffing. He will deny the double damage here.
Is he going to be in trouble or not? Tombstone's actually going to be laid out, and it's Bet Boom who now have to retreat. Glimpse back, trying to protect GPK, gets up the high ground, and will be fine.
Absolutely fine. Now Quinn's thinking about that blink instead of the Midas, and he will finish the blink. So just casual glove. Or I actually would have liked the Midas here, but Quinn is a very aggressive player, and when he has a 1 lane on mid, he tends to translate it into more aggression and taking away the space from the enemy. That's his natural instinct. So he's going to go back to that blink, try and set stuff up. Tombstone is expiring here for Celery, so this is not the greatest engagement, but Tofu's going to commit anyway.
You got dyrachyo. ETB'd in. He wants to be able to take an early fight, so he's going to pick up a Toronto Tokyo kill. I think part of it is that dyrachyo doesn't have a lane to play in, so he's kind of eager to join in whatever advantageous fights he can clean up some heroes on.
Does not want to end up in a one-on-one versus the Pure Legion. That is not a favorable matchup unless they're willing to bring a stun up there, which it's not going to be Ace, and it's probably not going to be Quinn. So maybe Tofu rotates, but then you're trying to kill his Legion with Lotuses and Wand, and he has rushed Blade Mail. It's going to be a hard early game for dyrachyo. So if he can get these little cheeky kills where he can help him get back in his game, that is probably what he's looking for, because he's in a rough position based on the lane, but he's still doing fine relative to, you know, GPK here.
Yeah.
Is continuing to struggle against that matchup.
Well behind.
Dire are scanning.
However, this is a Bet Boom draft that can stall the game out. Like, Gaming won a clump, as they always do, looking for that mid-game aura timing. Nightfall's going to have to use these illusions very well, very efficiently, try and push the lanes, install his game as much as possible, and hit his timings, so that when you get to that Manta, you get to the second item after that, you're ready to take those fights. I don't think this is a game where Nightfall can just rest on his laurels and be happy going late game here.
Sure.
Especially if Gaming accelerate the Roshans.
I'm waiting for Gaming Gladiators to make a smoke move, because you picked up this early Blink Dagger, and I have to imagine part of that conversation is talking to Tofu and saying like, hey, how active do you want to get, right? Because they have a nice Blink Dragon Tail stun into Blast Off Chain Stun combo. That sounds really nice, but if you pick up this Blink Dagger and don't actually make any moves with it,
yeah, the move's being made on you right now, and this Blink's not helping you out. Is there the damage here, though?
Still a little bit limited. They're going to be able to glimpse him back, though, and Pure Joint in. Wow. That's going to be the first dual victory of the game, and an all-out push for the mid tower now.
That kill being slow actually worked out better for him.
Yeah, it did.
Pure had time to come in, and 5-man move for Bet Boom, trying to punish the greediness on the map from Gaming right now, because dyrachyo's farming top, and Ace is trying to clean up Ancients right now. That is where the Beastmaster was.
They're going to go in.
He got them all, though. A little late to the party, but that is a big objective and a big kill loss for Gaming. Like you're saying, that was the Blink Rush on Dragon Knight that ended up in him just dying. You didn't even get a move out of that.
Yeah.
I think that's also why I would have preferred the Midas, because I think Gaming prefer to play a little slower for an early game. Or it's going to come out with the Glimpse counteracting it, but this is a Tombstone fight. You are not getting out.
Blast off onto the two of them. They're probably both dead anyway, but Tofu does collect both the kills, so an early Pavis for him.
Nightfall got bottom tower with an illusion. Well, that's actually super nice for him. I'm talking about him being efficient with the illusions. That is about as efficient you can get on 0 mana here, following up that fight. So 2 tier 1s out of that single gank for Bet Boom. Pretty nice, going to slow down the momentum, because Ace was getting gigantic, man. He gets farm priority in this team for a reason, and that is going to be a very fast Vanguard Ags Arcane Boots for the Beastmaster. That's going to be tough. There's not a lot poke with this Bet Boom lineup. You're going to have to get in close and fight that Beastmaster head on, especially with the Ember and the Legion. Maybe Nightfall can skirt on the outside a little bit, but this should be a very good Ags Beastmaster game. Downside is you don't have like a fast Helm of the Overlord to try and force the objectives of your Dragon Knight, but this will help him farm faster and scale better in the late game.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking at Pure and his build-up late mail into Blink Dagger. And
Are scanning.
one thing they really liked the last pick, Legion Commander. I don't know how you felt about it, but the Dispel, the Heart Dispel, super good in this game. I do wonder, though, if Pure is going to have a bit of identity crisis. How much of this game is he going to be starting fights, and how much is he going to be Blink responding to Gaming Gladiators opening a fight? Well, you know, if that Heart Dispel is that good, maybe it's better to wait for a Primal Roar or something.
I thought you were saying he has an identity crisis because it's usually GPK that builds the blade mail.
Nah, about it. It's also true.
I thought he was building one, actually. I'm like, wouldn't even surprise me. He had that blade mail Radiance build on Ember.
Yeah.
Twice. But I think this game,
Radiant's bottom tower.
there is no way Pure is starting a 5-on-5 with a Blinking duel. That just sounds horrific. I think you're getting turned around on techies. You're setting up a blood right. The tombstone heal gets dropped. I think in this type of game, you're looking for the pickoffs with the Legion Blink, and then you're going to translate that into the team fight where you can play off the save. That sounds like the most comfortable position to me, unless they're just at an overwhelming point where Pure is like a god and he's just going to smack some kids down. Okay, then you go in. But until then, you got to play it safe. You got to respect the AoE counter initiation that Gaming have and the sustain. Drums and that soul rip already online.
This smoke move, so close to being popped by the Ember Spirit, so close to running into heroes of Bet Boom, but never quite there.
It feel a little indecisive though.
Yes, it was.
Which is abnormal for Gaming. Usually they know exactly where they want to go and what they want to do for it, and even if they don't hit a hero, they end up at a tower or end up at Roshan or with really deep wards. So they get one ward on Dire Triangle, but that did feel a little disjointed in terms of the timings, and now you're going to get that duel.
Oh, Glimpse back after the duel. That's very awkward. They did not plan that one out very well, but it's going to work out anyway. Double kill going the way of Bet Boom. Even if they don't get that duel victory, Save is going to be caught here, but is he caught?
Yeah,
or is he just stalling out Gaming Gladiators for the rest of them to join in? Bet Boom are going to be able to get a glimpse off of that one, and it goes from Save dying. Save still dies, but they get Celery, and maybe they'll even catch Ace as well. Ace is kind of in at this point in time. He's going to make use of the drums to be able to kill the Disruptor. They still have that meta going, but boy, Ace is...
He's really strong right here.
Yeah, he is tough to fight. They do have the Sunder.
And that's why gonna respect it.
Yeah.
But we are seeing that Beastmaster network be a threat. Nightfall doesn't want any of that right now, and I think Bet Boom, they're definitely happy with that. Like, they get the dual damage to get another big Dragon Knight kill. Wish we could get that rune, but it has been covered very well here. GBK thankful he gets out alive. You're gonna have to keep this Disruptor up. Like, he's a big part of your lineup. These chase down kills are gonna be a huge factor. That's why Ace just targets him. He knows once the Disruptor's out, the control is gone. And that was a 0 heal Enchantress that took them a long time to punch through. So as Save gets tankier here, he can be an annoying factor in these fights. We've seen all these Enchantresses scale really well this patch, with the Shard giving him 2 creeps, extra net worth from that Tormentor, and another dual pickoff is starting to snowball here. Number 3. 28 dual damage already. This is a very good sign for Bet Boom because he's going to scale very well. There is only grab ally for the duel, which is a very weird interaction because then you continue to be dueling the guy in the tombstone, I believe.
Oh, really?
And
it doesn't break it?
I don't think so. I think you just stand there.
What? All right, that's...
Maybe it's a bit different now. I don't know if that was the intentional, but we'll see how it interacts. Either way, it is a save for the duel. And then you're going to have to try and punch through it if you're Bet Boom. But otherwise, there's nothing to protect these random solo pickoffs here.
Sure.
Maybe that's why Tofu going for the Pavis. We're going to see some other defensive utility items. Solar Crest being built for Celery. They're gearing up for those man fights here.
This is a classic Gaming Gladiators move right here, right? You're talking about how they built up, they hit the laning phase, they try and win that, then they have this little lull, and then they reach some sort of peak, mostly around 8.
What would make it an even more classic Gaming Gladiators move, Cap?
Maybe dyrachyo getting picked off while they did Roshan.
That sounds pretty up there for me. Back to the action as Quinn did go back for the Midas here, and yeah, that's a pretty easy 3-man Roche. Decently fast, didn't cost them too much on the map, except, you know, the given dyrachyo death, which I think they expected here. Completely unphases them.
That's like a toll. In order to get into the Roshan pit, you need to be able to leave dyrachyo to die somewhere on the map.
The sacrifice, a noble one. Only death number 2, he's pushing towards that BKB. They might get a tier 2 off this, though. Been a very active objective game from Nightfall. He will claim that tier 2 bottom. A lot of gold first team, and a lot of space to operate. Opening up that Tormentor, opening up the Wisdom
Radiant's
Rune.
middle tower is
This
under
is
attack.
not the easiest kill to get.
Nope.
And Ace is charging forward.
I mean, he's got the damn Aegis, so that is why.
I didn't even realize that. They really didn't want to give it to... I guess the other option is DK. That's pretty bad, too.
It's a pretty bad one, yeah. I think I'd rather give it to the Beast here, too. He can just go in and play super aggressive with the early Ags and the Roar. He has
Sure.
Crimson already. I mean, he is their carry. He is given #1 farm priority. Are you sure this guy switched to 3? I feel like
He's just kind of a carry and
yeah, I think he's still playing carry.
guys. Yeah.
He just switched his hero
Radiant's
pool.
middle tower is
No
under
one gave him the
attack.
memo. Either way, 56 dual damage for Pure. He almost caught the Undying again.
You know, with how the lanes have kind of evened out a lot in the positions between 3 and 1, that would make a lot of sense. Gaming Gladiators actually being able to do so well, so consistently. They just have this one up, which is the fact that you think dyrachyo is the carry, but he's the one creating space around the map, getting picked off all over the place, and it's actually Ace who's the real hidden secret carry.
What do you mean hidden? Ace is the carry.
I mean, on Wikipedia, he's listed as the 3.
Cap, who
Kind of undercover.
Who is the last Dota team that won a major where their offlaner wasn't the carry?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Let me think about that.
Yeah,
What's the
keep
last-
thinking about it because you got to go back a long way at this point. Boom. Thankfully, that tier 2 got opened up by Nightfall, and they will reap the reward. Get a little Tormentor steal here out of gaming as their smoke will land on nothing. That's a nice little move. Boost them up to a 2K advantage. I mean, gaming, they're getting what they want in terms of the tempo and their timings. But Boom are doing a damn nice job splitting the map, finding those big Bloodseeker pickoffs and the Tormentor steal.
Team Spirit?
I think Collapse isn't the carry of that team.
I think you
middle
would have
tower is
anything
it's
with
probably
that.
Team
Yeah,
Spirit.
it's probably Team Spirit.
Probably
But
Arlington.
you are alluding to the fact that last year was OG, right?
Exactly. OG with Amar kind of solidified that landscape, and
Yeah.
gaming said, you know what? Our logo looks pretty similar. We'll do the same thing.
I like these little things like this, Celery. Just making sure that the creep wave doesn't get pushed out anywhere, pulls it.
And I like how this blood grenade meta has developed.
Yeah.
I know what you're laughing at. I'm not gonna bring it up, production.
Okay.
I'm not gonna bring it up. We all know what's
Dyer's
missing, but I'm
top
not gonna bring it
tower
up.
is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower
I just think it's
is
interesting
under
that I feel
attack.
like I watch Solo spam by these grenades for
Dyer's
entire games,
structures are
and now it's become way more staple that
Dyer's top
just
tower
every vibe has these blood grenades, even into the 20-30 minute mark. I mean, Celery still got 3 on him, right? And I think it's also part of where the 5 hero pool developed, that these Undyings, these Disruptors, these heroes that chase you down with the slows, the grenade just seals your fate. Like, you literally can't move.
Radiant's bottom
Just feels
tower
super
is
nice,
under
right? If that 5 pool were different, it might look different, but when you're playing this aggressive, this fast with a 22-minute high ground on an Aegis Beastmaster, I mean, why not buy him?
Glimpse him back. Get a little bit more damage. Maybe. Oh, they're actually going to charge in for this one.
Didn't get the heal.
Static Storm, stopping the Primal Roar. The seal. Oh, barely staying alive there. And that is super important because his high ground defense, I think, is crucial.
I mean, look at the dots on the map right now. That Boom do not want to have to come back to this, and gaming are calling their bluff. You got to be careful. The Glimpses here. Pure, he's going to man up. That Crimson.
See if they can burst him down, get that dual victory, and they do. Pure will be able to walk away. Quinn using his BKB for that first life. Doesn't feel great. And dyrachyo also using the Rupture at this point in time. Gaming Gladiators, they've used enough.
Looking for the
They just
glimpse.
got to get out of here, but another glimpse is going to be able to pull him back into position. They get a thunder off of that one. Great play by Nightfall, damaging himself with the Rupture to get the faster kill on the carry of Gaming Gladiators.
You gotta
clean
get
up
the hell
even
out.
more now. Get Tofu. How much more are you going to be able to get off this? Quinn, he TP's out successfully, but Celery will be run down. So the carry and the 2 supports of Gaming Gladiators will die, and Quinn and dyrachyo will be able to escape.
That was a really well executed high ground defense from Boom. They came back last minute possible to get the most out of the map. Then they end up in a situation where they burst that Aegis for free. There's no real turn for gaming at that point. You get the dual damage regardless. So even if gaming back off here, I think you're still happy with that exchange if you're Boom. You get the Tombstone down during that interval. And then this Rupture, I mean, it's nice, but at this point, you have to get the hell out or commit fully. And gaming do not want to commit with DK form gone. So now you're just in a chase scenario with Glimpse, and that is exactly where would want to be, because that's just a freebie.
During daytime too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like that makes it even worse.
I like that Nightfall had that illusion running up, like to give the extra vision here if they needed it. It's just really nice small things here that make this high ground defense pay off. Save with the early bait on the DK jump, waste a lot of time, right? If he dies there, maybe that fight looks a little different as well. just very well executed on all the small things. BetBoom looking very solid now. 6K gold lead. They have the Legion scaling on top of this net worth chart with Nightfall. That is exactly where you want to be. So all the weight of this game is not on Terrorblade's shoulders. And this next Roshan is not looking guaranteed for gaming. They need more damage coming out. I go to where is it going to come from? Because this DK is not scary right now.
No, he's not. When is he going to be? I mean, Terrorblade, as much as you say Terrorblade is the timing hero, he is still one of the better heroes in the late game, right? Can he match up against Bloodseeker and Dragonite?
He can.
With all this?
This is definitely not the worst late game Terrorblade game I've seen. I think the Bloodseeker matchup can go both ways for sure.
Yeah.
I think he's great versus the Dragonite with the reflection and just annoying him in the team fight, right? Terrorblade's a hard hero for DK to go on and just burst too. So a lot of times you can get that Sunder off. And then the Beastmaster, you're reflecting him and getting those auras as well. So like this Terrorblade late game is going to boost up his team. And he has two other heroes that are very high damage cores that are going to help him with that burden. So yeah, I don't feel bad going late here from BetBoom, especially if I'm getting the Roshans.
And I think that Disruptor and Enchantress support duo, this may be, like, it's definitely going to scale, but it's also, I think, a potential problem for gaming gladiators who they like to reach this point of like, our comparative strength has peaked and we're just going to end it sort of thing. This is probably one of the best high ground duos you can ask for, right? You've got Enchantress outputting huge amounts of damage, and then once they're forced away, you've got the Disruptor to force a high ground fight for yourself.
If Save can survive the jump, then yes, you're very happy with that. If Save just dies, then the Disruptor's not doing much for you. But in the late game, if he gets an Ags, it kind of turns around again. So
that's why it was so important he lived through Quinn jumping on him.
Yes, that was actually a very important jump to live through. It stalled out that push a lot, and then Quinn's ult just goes. And now Gaming are resorting to running it back, trying to force BetBoom to their base, but they don't have an Aegis for this push. DK form out in 20. I mean, this is Ace's aura timing. Like, he has Greaves, he has Crimson.
Look at BetBoom calling their bluff, too. They didn't back up.
I mean, I don't even think BetBoom necessarily care if they lose a Rax at this point. I think they're in a good enough position they could give up a lane as long as they're getting the Roshans and be happy with that exchange, or just continuing to get farm on their cores. And Save is becoming that fourth core. He has little friends. He can turn some of the Beastmaster summons against them. He's going to deal an insane amount of damage with Hurricane Pike, Grove Bow. And he's not that easy for Gaming to kill. Like, what do you commit to kill the Enchantress here? You have 3 melee right clickers and a Techies. It's not that straightforward to get through the almost 1600 HP of this Enchantress with max heal, 2 points untouchable.
Yeah. There's also the, nobody really goes this as much anymore, I guess, but the 8% magic resistance talent. A lot of people just seem to go for the heal and stats over.
I mean, the heal is definitely better. I think you hold off on this talent, but when you get it later, that's when it's nice.
For sure.
And we're going to see Toronto Tokyo with the gem purchase, try and deal with the Hawks and the wards. Smoke them into a position where they can contest the Roshan with vision. That's a very nice ward to get out. Does Pure want to dual ace here?
That's a hard kill to go for.
There's Grab Ally behind him.
They are going to go for it.
It's very far, though.
They're putting the damage out. They throw it out, but it's too late. Celery could not get him inside the tombstone in time. The tombstone's already dead. And now everyone's just trying to get out from Gaming Gladiators, but they are being actively chased down. The glimpse goes on to Celery, so it looks like everybody else from Gaming Gladiators should be able to get away. The bonus for Gaming Gladiators there is that Roshan is not actually up. It could have been up, and BetBoom would love for it to be up right now. Just go straight to the pit, take it, boom. You are really, really far ahead. But unfortunately,
it's a long timer.
Yeah, we got still another minute to go. Plus, that's plenty of time for Gaming Gladiators to get back into form and defend that.
It's more dual damage, though. Like, Pure is really racking up the wins here. Plus 112 at 28 minutes in the game. He has 5-1 and 5. Titan Sliver on top of this BKB Blade Mail, and he has Nullifier completed. So all these defensive utility that Gaming are building up, all these auras, he's just going to slice through it. And then if you don't get the save off, I think that fight is just over. Because he's going to be able to take down big cores, chop them up, and dance his way to victory here. I mean, the damage is split really nicely across all of BetBoom's tri-core here. That is a very solid position to be in. They're just sharing the load, and Gaming, their single target burst is not great. They kind of want to win a long fight with Tombstone, multiple Blood Rights, Ace surviving with the auras up. These initiations, when it's just nothing to turn it around and a big core dies, like, Gaming are not outputting any damage of their own during that period, unless dyrachyo feels strong enough to just run in and manhandle people, which
He probably won't until he has Aghanims.
Yes, that is the window for that to happen. So that boom, they're going to defend their Roshan here. Stick the Kobold Foreman in there to drink his way. Scouting Roshan spawn.
He's just drinking on the job.
Yo, guys, what's going on?
Dire's top tower is under
Good old
attack.
Kenny.
Nice little boar steal as well. Those are pretty damn strong in the fight. I mean, they're trying to...
Yeah, how do you start this for Gaming Gladiators? Because we've seen how Bet Boom win, right? You can't.
Unless you start on Pure. That save is always going to be there, so you kind of have to force Bet Boom into you. You have to force them into a deep Tombstone. They're going to try.
Trying to go for GPK.
Yeah,
Where's the save? There it is. Instantly a jump away to the Remnant.
And now you use Roar in a DK form, so now you're basically committed to doing the Roshan here and taking the Tombstone fight, or...
Nullifier going to be used with the glimpse back on Ace, trying to burst him down. Well, they also have intercepted straight up from Pure. He denies this. The man fights him, and the man fights Dyrachyo. He's winning it. Dyrachyo cleaves through 3 different heroes one by one. Goes down to 50 HP. Oh, 1 HP. Jesus. Position just to like own the map and get really, really big. But now they have wiped Bet Boom, and they can go back and take Roshan for themselves. Well, go back. They got to go down, apparently.
That is absolutely true. They also got to heal this Bloodseeker up. Double damage in the river. They know about it. They're going to start this up, and they're going to get it even without the Bloodseeker. This is fast enough with the amp.
Yeah.
And Mjolnir done for Quinn as well. So there's double Mjolnir in this lineup. It's a lot of AoE magic damage that's just going to fly through versus the Terrorblade. It's also a lot that if you go in with Pure and you throw that Mjolnir on somebody, it's like guaranteed procs here. Interesting itemization coming out from Gaming. Also going to help them split the lanes and deal with the TV illusions on the map. Their itemization paid off. It paid off just enough for that fight. And that is an Aegis for Quinn, who is suddenly a damage threat with the route he's taken here. That boom, caught off guard. I think we were all caught off guard.
Oh, yeah.
Not expect Dyrachyo to have that level of impact, but...
I mean, we were so focused on him, I didn't really see how the fight happened between the Terrorblade and the Dragon Knight, right? Because the Terrorblade was throwing all that damage after Dyrachyo, but then we were focused on Dyrachyo, and somehow the Terrorblade dies. I don't know how much of that was the Dragon Knight matchup. Is he getting to a point that he can actually mano-a-mano take on the Terrorblade?
I mean, Quinn was just fighting him the whole time, but it's very slow. And I think he still had Sunder option. I don't think Nightfall is going to die too fast in these fights. It's pretty impossible for Gaming to start on him, but he also was not doing enough damage to finish off Dyrachyo in the heals. And that's, in theory, only going to get better if he completes this Ags and you have Blood Mist going too. Like, the burst situation becomes very severe. And then, what happens in that man fight? Like, you go in with Pure, you try and duel this Bloodseeker, or maybe just man fight him. That is a very scary situation. You did get dual win off of that Undying kill. So Pure's up to plus 150. This is a lot of bonus damage. But that Ags comes through and double damage sitting in the bottle. I'm pretty sure Dyrachyo is very confident just running in.
Dota has turned into such a weird game. You know, I was talking about how like 3K used to be like the max amount of HP you would see on a hero. Nowadays, it's like 5K. 3K is nothing. That's like what a support has.
I'd say 6K. 6K is impressive.
I'm looking at this Legion Commander damage, and I'm like, level 18, you only have like 300 plus damage? It was like Void Spirit had that last patch, no problem.
That's true. I mean, at this point, Legion is just the universal hero.
That he's barely keeping up with Universal Heroes, yeah.
He is pretty squishy, actually. Like, now you mentioned the HP numbers. It's only 2,100 HP for Pure.
Yeah. Which, I mean, he got shredded pretty quickly by Dyrachyo.
So he kind of has to win these fights quickly, and then he's probably just stuck in there. He will probably die. It's just when you win the fight. So he has to pick his targets carefully. I mean, we saw there, right? He won Celery to remove this Tombstone. I can't blame him for that go, but then it does open up some space for the cores that don't have to deal with that. And I don't know how scary Pure is post-duel. Like, do they care about this Legion being there?
Radiant's middle tower
just right-clicking people slowly? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe it's dependent on how many defensive ores they can continue to put up here. But Strength being done for Quinn, that's going to push him almost to 4K. It's going to help his damage output a lot more. If Gaming get to the point where the DK is one of their larger damage threats, I think the fights become way easier because the Quinn can just go in. You don't want to duel him. The Terrorblade doesn't want to really sit there and hit him. It becomes very awkward. If you get an Ags off Roche and you get Black Dragon on top of it, then you're in position to just close this game out off the DK alone. So 2 minutes left on this Aegis. How much do Gaming want to push it? Remember, this high ground push for them did not work well the first time around. you have to think about the Enchantress poking you from the high ground. You have to think about the glimpse plays if your DK form runs out, which it's like 5 seconds left.
Yes, he puts out some serious damage, and you've got to respect that. The glimpse back after the push away from the Hurricane Pike.
Yeah, they're going to try and keep him here. Put him in an awkward spot where you have to choose to go.
Oh, he's going to choose to go in. Trying to use that Aegis. GPK gets off the BKB, and he's good. And that first life. Oh, there's the tombstone.
Yeah, you got to sit there, brother.
Oh, that is terrible. What a horrible interaction for Pure.
It is one of the worst in the game. That is why you have to duel this Undying, because that is 38 damage to Quinn. I mean, he won that.
Still not dead.
He gets put in again.
Radiant's middle
Okay.
tower has fallen.
What do you do?
I don't know if Pierre knew about that interaction, but now he knows. Oh,
Hurricane Pike goes up after the Primal Roar. A little bit awkward, and Quinn, is he going to lose it?
This is weird. You do not want to lose Aegis inside Betboom's base, especially with Glimpse on
Dragon form, and he goes for it. Well, it's out. He's going to pop the Banter, turn around, gets off the Sunder onto the support. Okay, now he can fight a little bit, but he's got to be careful. There's too much damage from the Game of Gladiator's side. He's got to be able to kite this backwards.
There's so much raining in off these double Mjolnirs. Quinn, he does not want to stop
for it a second
anyone.
time. This time around, he jumps in on save and managed to finish the job.
And still 40 seconds left on this Aegis. You don't have Legion for 20. Your meta is running out here.
Radiant's
I
middle
mean, what is the
barracks
game plan for
under
Betboom? You're just going to have to give up buildings and hope gaming don't go for more, but what is stopping right now? They have ult advantage.
Radiant's bottom tower.
They have spell advantage. They have hero advantage. Some extra dual damage on top.
Radiant's bottom tower.
It's going to be a save buyback. You need a glimpse. You need a glimpse here.
Do they want a glimpse though?
I mean, I don't
The
know if you have a
Gladiators
choice.
might turn around and fight you.
If you get Tombstone down, I think you're in a decent position.
Okay. Tombstone now out. Slight change.
That's
Okay.
free duel. Free duel for
That's
Pure.
a free duel potentially. Oh, he got off the keys. He heals up, and now they're going back in. He's going to be able to win that duel. Oh, what a disaster. Dyrachyo. He's going to be able to back away. Quinn does end up dying post-Aegis, so he does fall out here, and they need to be able to save this Terror play. He's able to get back out, but save. He just puts out too much damage right now. They ignored him for too long in the fight. Celery will try and finish the last off. One last one. Takes him down to the grave. Join me, brother. We'll both die. We'll both head Valhalla.
The fist of Thanos comes down just crunches his skull here.
Celery with just one final snap.
Oh, what a man fight. They are very, very lucky they got Quinn there with that Aegis timing out at the right point. I mean, that was a sick bait by Dyrachyo with the cheese. Forces Pure into a very awkward situation. But you got to feel for him, because this is the green light. The Tombstone's down. He's like, aha, I have a free duel. But no, they had a cheese, and now you are equally screwed. I think that is another duel win, and it is indeed for Dyrachyo. Quinn will die to the Reflection melee form Dragon Knight. That isn't just embarrassing, honestly. I feel bad for the man, but
Well, you die to yourself. I feel like that's respectable
but not
in some
that
way.
form. And I guess Save not too happy about that, as it is his dieback, but maybe better that he diebacks here instead of a later situation where the long timer really hurts.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
So maybe not too sad about that. As Nightfall, he's still sitting on top, but those other two cores, they are starting to fall behind as these fights become expensive. And the dual damage, man, the dual damage is not going your way. That is 38 for Quinn and 38 for Dyrachyo. You're going to bump it up with this talent. You better be wary of who you're giving it to, because suddenly you're almost giving free demon edges pluses away, you know?
Yeah.
And these are not the heroes you want to be giving 40 free damage to. They are very pumped up with the attack speed aura from these, the double Mjolnir. These are not slow attack speed cores. It is very high value. Silver Edge completed for Nightfall. That is another big deal. If you can break the DK, break the Bloodseeker, especially that Thirst, it is a huge impact item.
It's a huge impact item if you're not holed up in your base. I feel like it's way harder to get that Silver Edge hit if you're just defending a high ground. So for me, this means Betboom, they kind of need to be able to find a fight outside of their base to make better use of this.
It's also easier if you're meted.
That's also
Which
true.
can be awkward because you Silver Edge in and then you have to melee hit the guy unless you want to meta first. But if you meta first, you break it. So Nightfall might want to meta early when they are smoking in just to be able to get that range break hit off. But then you're sacrificing some meta duration. Another reason these Roshans matter a lot. If you can get refresher shards here, if you can get an Ags for an extra pop, that'll be the Ags completed.
Don't want to get caught here.
On a Tokyo.
Do not want to get caught here, Save.
No, he has no buy for 5 minutes, and he will just take the safe way out. That is a good obs they can play around. You're going to have to fight for these Roshans. And now,
Dyer's
you
middle
have a way
tower
to
is
get
under
rid of
attack.
these BKBs on gaming and maybe create some space on the duel with that Disruptor Ags. That's a big one. Toronto is farmed. You're going to get one surprise fight out of this as well. You got to make it count here. Gaming do not know this item's up. He might get spotted on a Hawk, but he might not, especially if you just smoke and force it. They're going to Ninja Gear Pure. They have 2 smokes on Toronto in this really good high ground ward. He wants a core, but they'll take the Undying if Pure sees him.
Okay.
Snipes that Obs down. And
They have to back up. Nightfall TP to the tier 3. Or
Dyer's middle
the
tower
barracks, I
is
guess.
under attack.
I think the plan was for him to TP onto the outpost.
Feel confident, but he's
Yeah.
also very close to Satanic, but doesn't have it and doesn't have buyback either. So Nightfall, he's all in. He needs
Dyer's
200 more for the
middle
Claymore.
tower is under attack.
I mean, Betboom really want to finish this. I think they're just going to gamble on the timing. Let this hit daytime. They know Roche is going to go down, but I mean, if you're gaming, you just start manning up for this instantly, I think. You have so much zone control too with the mines, the defensive obs on the gate high ground, the Hawks.
Roshan will help clear through some of those mines.
Almost killed that Hawk. What the hell?
This
A little rude. He did kill
Oh
it.
my god!
Come on, man.
Loaded out of the sky, and they're gonna do this so fast. I mean, look at Betboom. They're smoking, wrapping around, trying to get here, but
This is going to be...
they don't know it. They're gonna be too late.
They do have Satanic for Nightfall, plus Penta-Edge Sword. He is shredded here.
They're gonna grab the goods. Slight reveals a couple of heroes. They do have the Rupture out on GPK to start.
That's not
Easily
who you
jumps
want,
to his
though.
Remnant.
This is a little bit of an opening for gaming. Nightfall still isn't committed meta. They're going to jump, but that's right into him. He gets the break.
Going out, push him over to the side. Nightfall gets off his BKB. They're gonna deal with the Tombstone first, knowing that's a problem at Nightfall, he needs to be able to get off one. Satanic's already used, Thunder's already used. He doesn't have any more lives. Gaming Gladiators just funnel into the pit after him. Take him down. Betboom. Now without a carry, without buyback. This, I don't know how they're gonna be able to hold against this plus an Aegis.
These Tombstone grabs have absolutely decimated him in these fights. They just can't find an answer. You're not dueling Celery, which he never has to show. It just ruins your initiation every time. Then Nightfall has to sit there, takes his entire BKB to go to a Tombstone, and he's instantly disarmed after, which means that's Satanic. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
It did nothing for you there, and he dies within 3 seconds or less here. This is the problem with late game Terrorblade. If you don't win the fights during your meta BKB interval,
Radiant's bottom barracks
you're just not winning.
They also got the Black Dragon out of that one.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Dragonite is huge. 33,000 net worth.
Didn't even have to pay for it, and now he is just right-clicking people down. This is the scale territory that Betboom do not have an answer to, even with AC completed for Pure. I mean, you have double Lincolns up for the Dragon Knight and the Bloodseeker, so you're gonna have to deal with that as well. Pure in the back, he wants the Undying, he wants Celery. This is a large ball to jump into. He gets pinged out. Quinn knows he's there.
Oh, the Tombstone is already laid out too. So not only are they stopping Pure, but they have denied any potential advantage. Betboom, GPK, just trying to throw some damage in, but frankly, it would never be enough.
That's just
They're gonna have to play against Megas. Wait, goes for the jump.
Static Storm.
Once again, trying to stop the initiation of Pure. Static Storm on the side onto Ace, but no targeting from Betboom.
They just don't have meta for 40. And there is no answer for Sir Davian here. As Quinn has become way too large in the last 5 minutes. I mean, getting that axe for free is just ridiculous value.
Yeah.
Because now he's just going to be able to go Manta after this, have it all online. I mean, he's too damn slotted. He's got to sell something.
It almost kind of feels like they should have just kept going.
dyrachyo.
Okay. Does he have the damage? Pure fighting for his life, fighting for the game. Doesn't quite get him in the duel, but will get him ultimately in TP's out. So that's going to be the Aegis down. Gaming Gladiators. See who they can grab here. Hurricane Pike gets some distance. Celery, he doesn't even try to run. He knows he's not going to make it.
That was a gem. It's a pretty fast Lincoln's pop from Pure as well, so he's ready to get these goals. However, that is save dead with no buyback for 50 seconds here, and Gaming, they might choose to try and abuse it. I don't think they want to wait for next Roshan. They just want to go in. Double Rupture is up. So dyrachyo, he's just going to be throwing these out. You can preemptively drop that Tombstone. Duel up in 5, meta up for Nightfall. You're going to have to make something happen with this duel. Find a big target, throw that Static Storm on top. I just don't think you Go on Ace. Got to find one of the damage dealers.
Got him after the slight. Great jump from Quinn, but not good enough. Tofu a little bit late there on the blast off, but really doesn't matter. Gaming Gladiators can keep on poking while these buildings are going to fall eventually. Nightfall uses his meta, but they don't have an initiation.
Fill his tombstone out for Pure.
Got it again this time with the silence. So GPK does die. No buyback there. And now Nightfall. I mean, he's going to sunder Toronto Tokyo, giving him a little bit of extra staying power in this fight. They managed to get the duel out onto dyrachyo. The damage, it is coming in. Save. That's a winner. He's beginning to output a little bit here, but Pure is still going to be caught up in it. The buyback of dyrachyo.
Yeah,
he's going to join his team to force the GG call. Gaming Gladiators come from the lower bracket into